Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines, where you might not remember this road. It's because I just built it as a quick test. And yeah, so what I'm actually looking for to be able to identify these correctly is actually this circle around it. That indicates exactly what I'm looking for. So, no problems here. I've now figured out how to correctly read this. That's okay. So we can just bring this around and boom, we've got ourselves a nice little grid segment. Okay, so that's absolutely wonderful. Let's just zone that residential for the time being. And right now, we definitely do have, well, a lack of people. We need to tick forward and let this go. I will say that I did drop off the anti-aliasing a little bit because, I mean, I'm already feeling, and I mean, that's SMAA, so that's probably not going to actually do all that much now that I think about it. Post-processing AA usually doesn't do all that much. I'll have to mess around with these. I'm definitely feeling it not being where I'm used to it being in terms of performance. Although, to be fair, I'm used to playing at like 4K 120, so that's maybe a little bit absurd of expectations. I am definitely not loving how flickery the shadows are. Maybe if we actually tune that down a little bit, that might actually be helpful on that. So what happens if we take the shadows down to medium quality? Does that make it more or less flickery? Honestly, it's about the same. Okay. So really, I think what we would need to do here is turn off like time of day progression for that. We could try it on low quality shadows. Yeah, it's really about the same. So I do think that this will have to be, we could theoretically turn off the day-night visuals. And that way we just have a static light here. And that means that we don't have it, like, constantly flickering, only when things are moving. I don't know. Maybe I'll just get used to it. But I find it very distracting as of right now. Very, very distracting indeed, the amount of aliasing in the shadows. Regardless, it's not a big deal, to be honest. We have quite a lot of demand right now for low-density residential, and we could certainly think about moving out over this direction. Now, what length do we want this to be? Well, we can see based on the circles that it should go right here. 112 meters, and then right like that, and then we connect it in like this. Now, do we want to connect this in directly over here? Well, that's an invalid shape right now. For the moment, I'm going to say no on that. We still have currently no population. Oh, never mind. We have one citizen. Okay, we've got a citizen. Adrian Jennings loves the weather, and there's plenty of free time. Cool. So for right now, we've got this groundwater pumping station all the way up over here. We probably don't want to put industrial near that. Ultimately, I'd prefer to have industrial up over, like, in this corner for right now. Now, this is currently a somewhat larger road. Yeah, one of these 4-lane jobs. So that's okay. We could definitely bring this out over here, and this angling is not angle snapping to 90 degrees quite the way I want it to, but that is snapped, I think, right there. So that's about 1 kilometer long, and we can just do that for the time being. That will open us up a bit of a thoroughfare down this direction. And then from here, we can expand our roads this direction. And we can have at least some sort of a marker system indicating where we actually want this to be. I want this to be snapped into the center of this intersection. Oh, that's awkward. So if we build it here, is that snapped into the center of the intersection? I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's not. So snapping it here, maybe it's just this camera angle? I don't know. This feels a little bit strange. Maybe it does snap it correctly here. No, that definitely moves the intersection. Okay. Noted. Absolutely noted. So in that case, we should be able to just bring this out like so. And that would be reasonably fine. But this is, of course, half distance. And I don't actually want this to be a 4-lane road. That's the problem. I had it on 4-lane road. I'm dumb. We can bring it up like this. Perfect. That's more like what I'm looking for. Okay, cool. So we can definitely continue to zone residential down over here for now and satisfy some of that demand. A little bit more commercial out over this way is not a bad thing. This is already zoned. Okay, noted. So a little commercial out over this way is not bad. I'm going to swap over to the square tool, or rather the rectangle tool. That'll be fine. That should be plenty of commercial for the time being. And let's work on these 2-lane roads. Let's bring this on up to here. And that's 86 degrees, 90 degrees. There we go. We're just falling back on a... Okay, I guess we have a tiny village now. Cool. We also got the achievement, the last mile marker. Okay. Or maybe progress towards the achievement? I'm not 100% certain. We're going to bring this on in over here. I'm falling back on a grid city here because it's a relatively simple thing to do as we're learning the new game here. So that'll be absolutely fine. We're just going to move our way down this direction for the moment. And I do see there's a lot of demand for residential right now. So we're almost certainly going to have to do something about that. Let's put in a little bit of residential out over here for now. This will all be fine for the moment. This will likely also become residential up here later on. But right now, not so much. So I want to think about how we want to structure this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but also kind of 8 blocks here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, never mind. We've got 7 total. So we can take this up and then have this be about here is correct. And then in like that. That's now 8 blocks. I want these to be like meta blocks. And I think I've built a city like this previously in one of the City Skylines series. Oh, we can click on this. Development trees. Okay, they allow us... This is like the unlocks previously. I gotcha. So basic services will be unlocked automatically when we reach the milestones. But then we also get points that we can spend on this. And each city service has its own development tree. I see. Okay, that's interesting. So if we wanted to get highways, we need to grab advanced road services. So road maintenance facilities, traffic lights, and signs, as well as roadside decorations. That sounds good. We're going to grab that. And we have, at this point, no available development points. So now we need to grow our city. So, like I said, I've made this sort of city before, but it's going to be like meta blocks. So we're going to have large roads and then a 10 by 10 grid surrounded by large roads. And eventually we'll probably elevate these roads. For now, I don't know if we will. Well, this one's not elevated, so probably not for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. Okay, let's tick forward and let's continue to move this up. So this goes here. I'm not sure that was right, actually. I'm going to back that off. I'm pretty sure I needed to go 1 additional block. Here. There we go. So that's 9. And then this next one would be 10. So for this, we would go with... These are one-ways? Okay. Noted. We don't have access to things like these yet. We don't have access to highways. 2-lane highways. Interesting. Cool. So we're probably going to end up replacing these large avenues almost with highways. But for now, we'll do a 4-lane road. And this is going to go right here. And it's going to be going horizontally like so. So then we would take that out right to the city limits, and I would want that to be at 180 degrees, like that. Beautiful. Then this would go on in, and would connect right there is correct. Okay, so that gives us our first essentially meta block there, but this road actually needs to be upgraded, so we would use the replace tool, upgrading this to a 4-lane road. Yes, there are some overlapping items. These guys are not going to be okay with that, but that's okay. We're going to use our straight line tool then and extend this right on out over this direction. Now, this is giving us an invalid shape. That makes sense. I'm going to delete these objects for right now, and we'll just take them all the way back to here for the moment. and we'll manage that here in a moment. Okay, so this 4-lane road comes out to here, and then heads up this direction. Then this would come in over this way, and we'd like these to group together into the 4-lane road, like right here. So the question is, how do we do that? These are essentially 2-lane one-way roads, right? So let's just take this out like 150 meters-ish, something like that. And then connect this in here, going this direction. And then this would connect to these lanes like that. I'm not sure what we have. Actually, yeah, I'm aware of the directionality. Yep, that's all good. Asymmetric roads, yep. I'm not sure what's with these crosswalks. I feel like they shouldn't actually have crosswalks. Can we modify that? Probably. So we can see the traffic flow here. We can see the upkeep. We can see the length, the condition. Sure. My question is, how can we deal with the intersection? This crosswalk is fine. I kind of don't want these crosswalks to exist at all. Period. End of story. So, is this something that we can do in here? Here's traffic mode. Okay, that just tells us what traffic levels we have. So no problem there. Company profitability. Outside connections, electricity. This is just road mode here. Sure. I'm pretty sure there is a way to do this. I know it said something about signs in here in the advanced road services. Road maintenance facilities, traffic lights, and signs. Okay, is that somewhere in here? We have access to roundabouts, which... that's a very small roundabout. Oh, I see how it works. That's actually very interesting. That's very interesting indeed. It does take a little bit of extra space. We might come back to that. Ah. Road services. Traffic lights, stop signs. Yes. So... maintenance is aimed at keeping the roads in good condition, while resources include things like roadside decorations, sound barriers, and traffic signs. Okay, so we've got traffic lights, stop signs, no turning left or right, roadside decorations. I do see this crosswalk here. So if we were to do that, that doesn't seem to do anything at all. Traffic lights can be added to make the crossing even safer. Wide sidewalks, grass, lighting, trees. Sure. I want to remove the crosswalk, though. Aha! Right-clicking removes the crosswalk. So that's fine. That's now the way I want that to be. Perfect. So that'll be fine for now. And really, I want these larger streets to be avenues instead of streets. So we're going to have this be Avenue. Perfect. And then Beach Street here is going to be renamed Beach Avenue. Wonderful. I attempted to middle click and drag. That's not how this game works. And then, of course, we've got Autumn Street up here. I want streets to be these bad boys over here. But this is going to be Autumn Avenue. Okay. That's fine for now. Now then, Beach Avenue is going to have to be extended out over this direction some amount. We're going to have to move some of these things eventually. That said, we've got lots of money right now, so I'm not too concerned about that. Let's hop over into our 4-lane road. And I'm going to bring this over a fair amount. So 120 meters here. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Gotcha. Okay, well, we're just going to bring this out to, for now, about here. I'm not sure where that's actually going to end, but for the time being, that will do. So then we would extend this street out over this direction, and it would head out to exactly right here. This is the exact point it needs to go. And then it would be brought down this direction at a 90-degree angle, and it would connect in to this lane. We don't need it to connect to all of these lanes. It's definitely a little bit awkward the way the road connections work coming from City Skylines 1. That was a little more automated and intuitive, but the granularity that this allows is very interesting. I'll just have to get used to it. No doubt about that. We might want to consider having at least temporarily roundabouts in these locations where the avenues reach, and then standard intersections where streets reach. So it would end up being something like that, and then we would have another roundabout right here. Now that does remove some land for construction, but I think that overall, that'll be a preferable situation. Cool. So then we can, of course, attach this up over here. There's a little bit of a stutter there, but that'll be fine. And we're going to position here and bring that straight on down 90 degrees into this lane here. Wonderful. It's also interesting the way you can see where each lane is going by the wear pattern on the road. So that does give you some good visual feedback there. 90 degrees here would be okay. And that is 2 blocks over this way done. Now, there's currently some demand for medium density residential housing, which we have unlocked. And we're going to put some of that in down over here. It's interesting that the demand is actually different between the two. That's very interesting. So we're going to start having some commercial, or rather, not commercial. We're going to start having some industrial happening out over this direction. 90 degrees right here, looks good. So let's put in some industrial zoning out over here. Industrial manufacturing is going to go right there. So this is ultimately going to want to be probably not residential straight into industrial, but we do have a little bit of a buffer zone here with this avenue. It's not much of one, but we have a little bit of one. Now we could, in theory, rework this ultimately into being like a commercial zone, but we'll see what that ends up looking like. For the time being, this will be okay. Excellent. So we're definitely making solid progress here. At this point, we can drop this guy straight out over here to line up here. Make sure it's all 90 degrees. That looks great. Except now we need to know exactly where these roads go. Right. I was going to rely on the squares here. I'm going to back off on this. We do get refund on it because it was just built. So I'm going to back off on this road for now, and we're just going to build the road like this. So we come in here, and we come in here. Perfect. And then we come out this direction. 112, 90 degrees. Looks solid. Like that. And then 112, 90 degrees. Doesn't want to connect directly up over here at 90 degrees. Okay, let's try coming this direction. I think this is probably due to sloping, is my guess. Oh, hang on. If we look at this intersection is clearly wrong. I think I had it connected up to the wrong lane. That's going to be the problem there. Yes. Phenomenal. Okay, so we got there in the end. Looks good. We'll bring this up to 112 and bring it right on down here. Phenomenal. How many blocks is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we're probably going to have this meta block be truncated by the river. That is 7, and then this one would just go to like here, and then would just connect in directly over, kind of like that. It's mildly awkward. Oh, that's interesting that these go down into the river like that. That's very interesting indeed. So we would have this connect up just over here like that for now. And then we would connect these bad boys straight up into here. We've got a 7.3% grade there. 89, they're snapping at 90. Phenomenal. And then this one would be snapping at 90 there. Of course, this road is going to have to be redone because I don't love the positioning it's at. That's something that we knew was going to need to happen. I'm not too concerned about it. It should be fine. And we'll just head on out over like that. Okay, So the only thing that's currently desired is a little bit of low density housing. We can slap in a little bit of low density over here. That'll be fine for the time being. Cool. So that's definitely some progress. No doubt about that. I've learned how to use this street tool a little bit better. That's great. I do want to rebuild this road. So let's get that all done. We're actually still able to get a refund here. That's great. I'm very, very pleased about that. And that means that we just take this road here straight on out and then connect it in straight like that. Fantastic. So that'll do the trick. This will probably ultimately have to be moved based on the positioning of this road here, I think. So this would come out over this direction. I want it to be, yes, that's correct. It'll come out over here, 90 degrees, and it would be literally like right here. So I'm going to place it there. I'm going to delete this bit of road. And we'll back this off ever so slightly so that these can be merged together. There we go. Something along the lines of that. And then this road would be moved out like so, which of course means that this building would need to be relocated, which is going to be a little bit expensive. But we can just relocate that right up over here. It'll have the same water output. So that'll be good. What is this? Advanced filtering system. Greatly reduces the amount of pollutants in the intake water. That is, however, relatively expensive. And so, an additional pump. Okay, so we could upgrade this building with multiple upgrades. Does it have upgrade slots? Not that I see. I wonder if we can do that, like, indefinitely. That would be very strange if we could. I'm not sure that it'll let us do that. Hey, look at that. We've got 11 people. And we're making 14 per hour right now. Now, we're on the slowest speed, and we should probably crank that up a little bit. There we go. So we'll let that crank up a bit, and we've got ourselves a skeletal framework here. It's not perfect, that's for sure. And really, this road over here, we might want to upgrade this to an avenue. So Chester Street would become Chester Avenue. And then this would just kind of follow the river line. So we would end up having that be this road here. We'd need to use the replace tool. And I'm not sure what this is going to do to our pumping station here. Overlapping items. Okay. So we would need to move our pumping station to be like down over here. We've also got this sewage pipe that we could potentially migrate. I think for the moment, I'm just going to place it like here. I'm not sure if that'll be okay. I mean, it's okay for there. So we would need to then move this again. That's definitely inefficient on the relocation costs. Okay, noted. So for now, what I want to do is I want to go into our piping here. We can definitely downscale our pipe a little bit. Can we go down into here? Yes, page down does indeed work. Okay, so we're going to definitely need to get a sewage pipe connected like that. That'll be fine. There we go. Now we've got Chester Avenue is just kind of turning up over here. And now this is considered... oh, this is all considered Chester Avenue? I don't actually want this all to be Chester Avenue. I want it to terminate up over here. Chester Avenue should terminate here or continue over the river later. For now, this is okay, I guess, but this is definitely not what is intended. So we currently need some low-density housing. This is not shocking. This area here can be zoned low-density housing. What is all of this right now? Can this all be zoned? Hang on, that's interesting. Is it not skewed based on the skew of the tile I click on? It is. I must have clicked on the road here so that it was skewed by camera. Yes. Okay, I gotcha. So that works fine. We'll just do that for now. Cool. There is some demand creeping up for industrial, and that's deeply unsurprising. We're going to need additional roadage up over here, and we'll just create ourselves a nice block here. Perfect. And we'll add in some additional industrial There, let's go back to the fill tool. There we go. So that is underway. Nice. I definitely feel like I'm getting more of a handle on this game. Mostly the road tooling threw me for a bit of a loop, but I think I've got it under control now. It is about time to put a cut in here, though, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to see about satisfying all of this low-density residential demand that is cruising on in here. There's definitely a lot of it. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.